You are listening to Anesua Works.
Zombie and a red cap. I couldn't believe it. She had hung up on me on our anniversary of all days. I looked around at the mess I had made in the process of wrapping gifts. My room was littered with pieces of wrapping paper and sticky tape. On my bed sat a bouquet of withering flowers intended for my girl. That was supposed to be a day filled with love, romance, passion, yet there I was, alone and at loggerheads with my girl on our second anniversary. As I dialed her number that afternoon, I didn't anticipate a fight to break out and ruin a night I had spent 2 weeks putting together. I love Maggie, but she's so petty and quick-tempered. Once she feels upset, nothing else matters but herself. I know she knew I'd put a lot of time and money into making the night special and unforgettable for her, but she was willing to let it go to dust. My phone rang with a call from my best friend, Malik.
Anniversary, man!
He teased. Maggie is fighting me, I said.
What? You are kidding, right?
He exclaimed. Nah, man, I wish I were. I sighed. Malik sighed and giggled in the same breath.
So what's gonna happen to the hotel room, the restaurant, the flowers, and
I don't know. You might just have to put on a dress and be my date, I said with a giggle, a feeble attempt to laugh at myself.
First of all, God forbid. Second, it's still early.
Malik pointed out.
Let's wait and see. She might come around.
Alright, bro, will do, I said. The rest of the day zoomed past in slow motion. I kept an eye on my phone all day and nothing from Maggie. I watched in disbelief as the sun set, gathering all my bravado not to cry. Suddenly, my phone rang. It wasn't Maggie, but her best friend, Rosie. Rosie's conversation with me was short and sweet.
Don't cancel any plans you have,
she said.
I'll bring her to meet you at the restaurant.
I felt very glad the night would not go to waste, but then I felt the strange urge to have some sense of dignity and pride. Maggie knew I loved her. She knew I'd never been with a girl as smoking hot as she was, and she knew I was terrified of losing her. Even crazier is the fact that I thrived on the chaos she created. Every time she rose her voice, got upset, or hung up on me, it only made me want her more. I felt the need to put a firmer foot down, but not then. That night, I was going to enjoy my reservations. When I arrived at the restaurant, Maggie and Rosie were already there. I walked over, said hello, and handed Maggie the now not so fresh flowers I had accidentally sat on. I could see the look of surrender and resolve in Maggie's eyes. It was a look I had never seen before. She got up and hugged me for several seconds. When we both sat down, Rosie spoke.
I was with her when she started that silly argument, and I said to her it has to stop. It's you guys' anniversary and you should enjoy it. Ideally, I should not be here, so I will sit way over there and you guys can chill out.
After a little speech, Rosie walked over to one of the few empty tables and sat by herself. Maggie looked stunning. She wore a red low-cut dress, and I could see the entire frame of her bust. Little was left to imagination. That's how I knew it was intentional. A trap. I took the bait. You look stunning, I mentioned.
I know that, but thanks anyway,
she replied. I fought her smile. It won. I don't know why it was that her mess was so appealing to me. I let her have her anniversary present, a pair of silver earrings. That did little to warm her up. Before I knew it, dinner was over and the three of us were heading out. Rosie and I lagged behind. She shot me a curious look, and I shook my head to let her know her friend was still renting a chamber in her heart to the devil. She rolled her eyes and held up a finger, asking for a second.
You know what, guys? I know the perfect place to take you to. Let's go grab a drink from my newest discovery.
We got in my car, and I listened as Rosie showed the way. Soon we arrived at the place. It seemed awfully quiet, but when we stepped in, we realized it was just a clever disguise. Dry ice ruled the air. Popcorn blared over the speakers. I could make out the forms of persons, but I could barely see anyone's face. Rosie led us to a bar, several of which were in operation.
3 dark zombies, please,
she said to the bartender with a wink. He winked back. We watched impressed as hell as the bartender made us our drinks in the most perilous and complex way. He slid 3 tall glasses our way. I couldn't tell you what went into the drink, but the moment it went into me, I knew it had arrived. I suddenly felt happy, and an urge to dance took over my body. I could tell the same was happening to Rosie and Maggie, as they had already begun to make their way to the dance floor. I watched as they danced so close to each other. The light made the entire scene more sensual, occasionally falling on them at the perfect angle, allowing me to see how dirty the dancing was actually getting. I could hardly believe my luck when Maggie looked over and gestured for me to join them. Charlie, no man ever walked faster. A fantasy I didn't know I had was coming true. The girls were all over me. It was as though our hands had minds of their own. We began to touch one another as we danced. Some invisible force pulled us closer, much like most of the people around. Rosie hugged me from behind. I was taller than she was, and it turned me on. I had a thing for cute girls. I turned to face her.
Kiss her,
I heard. It was Maggie in my ear. I swung around to look at her, and she kissed me slowly and with so much passion. A huge gush of dry ice pumped into the atmosphere, blocking what little light was surviving in the dim club. I felt Rosie's cold fingers across my cheek. Her fingernails dug into me a little.
What about me?
Rosie growled. I gave the miss what she wanted. I mean, you're not supposed to turn down a lady, right? The kiss between Rosie and I was more erotic than I had expected. She was such a good kisser, and she did this thing with her teeth on my lip that made me so hard. I grabbed her breasts. Right about then was when I noticed Maggie had been away. I saw her walking back towards us, a red cup in her hand. I didn't take my eyes off her as she walked towards us. She stopped inches away from my face and ordered me to take the cup out of her hand. I didn't know what was in the cup, but her eyes, they made me want it. She reminded me so much of Eve. I took the forbidden fruit she offered, with no hesitation. Rosie broke my drink and finished the contents of the cup. Now I've been drinking beer since I was 16 and proper drinking since 18, but never has a drink hit me the way the red cup did. It was like it woke me up and knocked me out all at once. I could tell the girls felt the same way, as they had gone back to dancing. I was lucky to find a chair a few feet from the washroom, and at a perfect distance and angle from the girls. I watched them dance body to body. I felt like Juicy J or 2 Chainz, sitting there watching the most beautiful thing I had seen all year. Just as I got real comfortable in the chair, the good life seemed to end. The girls stopped dancing and started to walk towards the washroom.
We're tired of dancing,
Maggie said as she stopped over for a second.
Let's do something else.
She walked on. Considering the look she gave me, I would have been a silly little boy not to have gone after the girls. When I stepped in, I slipped the lock shut. The bathroom was very pink, with mirrors and the sink to the left and the stalls on the right. I stood there in the middle for a couple of minutes. I knew they were in there because I could hear them giggle. The girls finally came out from behind one of the stalls. Both of them were topless. Needless to say, I was very excited at this point. They walked to me and took turns kissing me. Rosie dropped my pants.
Time to see if you've been telling the truth,
she whispered into Maggie's ear. I chuckled because I knew exactly what Maggie had told her, and my girl wasn't a liar. I didn't have a fancy schlong. It wasn't unbelievably huge, nor was it the most handsome penis out there, but it was just right. I could tell Rosie wanted to say something, but the urge to taste me must have been stronger. Maggie and I made out while Rosie kept going at it. I was so hard, and it only got better.
Get over here.
Rosie asked Maggie. She obeyed. My legs got so weak when they took turns giving me head. I had to lean on the counter. I grabbed both girls by the hair and moved them in a rhythm I wanted, occasionally making them kiss. Maggie rose and bent over the counter. Rosie went over and grabbed her butt. I love my girl's body, and the silhouette of her bubble butt arched over the counter. Her bestie's head on her butt was alone to make me want to come. Although I didn't have actual sex with Rosie, she would give me head in between positions with Maggie, and I got to eat her out. We fucked all over the place. My girl was so wet, and her body would tremble every time she came. Baby, she moaned. Yeah, I panted. You fuck me so good, she growled. Oh fuck, I cussed. You fuck me so fucking good, she repeated. I couldn't take it. I pulled out. Rosie was right there beside her, and I emptied out onto her face and Maggie's ass. I was covered in the girl's cum and sweat. We all knew it was time to go home and take a shower. The following day, we woke up at 1:45 in the afternoon. I had absolutely no regrets whatsoever, but I was afraid things might be weird between the girls and I. I was wrong. A year has passed since that awesome anniversary. Maggie had let me know she would not take back that night for anything, but she assured me that blue moon would never rise again. I've accepted I may never get July 19th back. For the memory of a lifetime I can fall on whenever I close my eyes, I am forever grateful to the dark zombie and the red cup.